No longer would I be a slave to my parents or my husband or the pleasure house. I would be free and receive due compensation.
For me, Yotsuyu's story represents the responsibility we have to ourselves. How easy it is to perpetuate painful cycles round and round, especially when we feel rightfully justified to continue the cycle, our anger telling us that we've been mistreated, our sadness to mourn when we are taken advantage of, and the awful things that happen to us, which are out of our control. We may feel powerless in those moments, but it is only in that moment. We don't have to remain powerless. Finding some forms of peace in your suffering is empowering. It allows us to begin moving forwards and to return to the present. We can't undo the past, but we are responsible for our present and future. To understand our behaviour and feelings so we don't inflict and project our pain and suffering onto innocent people. It is no easy feat, but it is a feat that will allow you to live more freely. A freedom reminiscent of Yotsuyu's desire before she lost her way in the cycle of pain. Yotsuyu's story is reflective of an earlier time when women were seen as objects to be owned by their fathers and husbands rather than human beings. Chained by societal gender expectations and familial duty, we are instilled with the belief that family are there to help support you and guide you, and most importantly, family will always be there for you, no matter what. That is why we should take care of our families and be dutiful and loyal to them. But that is not always true, and sometimes family can cause someone the most harm in their lives. Yotsuyu is a prime example of someone who has not had the idyllic family and is left invisible, feeling like they are nothing and mean nothing to people. Empty and longing. The dichotomy of what is instilled vs the harsh reality for Yotsuyu leads to a breakdown. A harsh reality where you've been sold and left to perform. A victim set on the path of survival by others, rightfully creating resentment that could last lifetimes. Hate and anger fuel you along. Grief follows quickly after your loss of dignity and humanity. A loss of who you would have been without having to survive for so long. Where do you start to even try to find peace when you've known only pain and suffering? You easily end up living a life that is miserable. A life that would twist someone to pursue survival at any means necessary, for that is all they know how to do. That is the fate of Yotsuyu, for her pain was not witnessed by anyone when she had to endure years of abuse and prostitution. Therefore, when she sees an opportunity to ensure everyone witnesses her pain, she takes it, and the power that comes with it. The ability to inflict suffering onto others, to share her pain. A warped, sadistic pleasure. Like the way she sees the drunk man, she sees her opportunity to gain and experience power. That is where we get insight to how she saw her past self.
Lying at my feet, groaning in agony, sobbing in despair. Powerless, helpless, hopeless. A vision forever seared into my soul.
By inflicting suffering to others, I feel she only inflicts further suffering upon herself, for her misery has now sought company. In her self-inflicted agony, I see parallels to Shakespeare's Macbeth, especially the flower imagery that Yotsuyu uses.
But you have endured their worst and survived. You know their tricks. They will not find a flower simply waiting to be plucked.
It reminds me of the quote from Lady Macbeth, "Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent underneath." A quote I always found fascinating to subvert the illusion of beauty and delicacy for violence and venom. That it is a perspective that summarizes who and what Yotsuyu had to become in order to survive. A beautiful snake that could shed its skin, revealing a new bewitching pattern, cold-blooded and poisonous, a threat, ready to bear its fangs against any enemy. Yotsuyu is a victim of circumstance. Her own family and others only saw her for her beauty and nothing else. How demoralizing as a human with so many facets of substance to be reduced to one thing. To the point where Yotsuyu has little meaning and purpose for her life other than revenge. To inflict as much damage to the ones that will call her traitor, even if it costs her her life. Like many Shakespeare plays, Yotsuyu's tale is one of tragedy. She does not try to break the cycle of pain, but ends up continuing it. She demonstrates the ease of how you can become what you feared, or who or what harmed you. The punished become the punisher. How easy it is to carry on the cycle because of the damage done. Sometimes it's impossible to find peace in the torment you survived. That is why the cycle fails to break, because people know and fear the suffering they inflict onto others, and Yotsuyu is an example of when that pain is inflicted back tenfold. Yotsuyu herself knows this. When she regains her memories and wishes that she didn't have to remember, I believe there is some remorse for her actions, for the innocents she killed. It's also in this moment where she admits she does not know how to live in a world that is kind and soft. By not opening herself up to those feelings and concepts, she denies herself of the future. You might ask why. Well, for many reasons, but the main one being she is unable to envision herself in an unknown environment, for all she has known and been taught in life is suffering and pain. She believes her life as a cycle of these two feelings, which she's swiftly given a reminder of from her parents that berate her just for existing and having not died yet. A reality check of how harsh and cruel the world and particularly people can be. The cold-blooded serpent she became is the monster they created. A monster she embraced in order to survive, in order to inflict pain, in order to take revenge. I don't agree with her actions to kill her whole family, but I won't lie that it wasn't satisfying to see. After witnessing her life and how horribly she was treated, there is peace for her in their deaths, the peace she sought for so long. Finally, she was able to conquer where her feeling of powerlessness began, and find the freedom that she sought for so long, delivered through death. Let me know down in the comments what you thought and felt about Yotsuyu's story, and as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.